Welcome to Python Basics for Hackers V2, new and improved from V1. We're going to add a little more material in V2, material that wasn't in V1. So if you've seen V1, the introductory material, the day one, is probably going to be almost exactly the same, slight small differences. You might want to scroll through till you get to day two, day three, if you've already gone through day one. Also, if you're familiar with Python, or at least you have some familiar with Python, you might want to skip through day one as well, because this is meant as an introduction to Python and with an application specifically to cybersecurity and hacking. Right? There's a lot of Python courses out there, and the introductory material is going to be almost identical because Python's Python, right? But what we're trying to do is to have a introduction to Python that specifically looks at how you can use Python in cybersecurity. Right? There's lots of ways of using Python. Python's used in a large number of applications, in almost all, nearly all of the cybersecurity tools, not all, but nearly all the cybersecurity tools are in Python. If you're working in Kali, you'll go through those tools and you'll see many, probably 80% are, or maybe even more than 80%, are Python scripts, right? Of course, there are some Perl scripts, there are some Bash scripts, there are some Java applications. So yes, there are other things, but most of your tools are going to be Python scripts. So what we're doing here is that we're trying to go ahead and develop your skills from zero, okay, to cybersecurity hero in 3 short days. Okay, I'm probably going to develop an advanced Python course in the near future. Now that we have enough people have gone through the Python course, we'll do an advanced Python course that will focus just on cybersecurity and hacking. Okay, tools been popping in and out. I got tools in here twice, I think. Yep. So with all of that having been said, let's go ahead and get started. All right, here's our course outline. All right. By the way, this green is for the Python. So we're going to start off with Python basics. All right, that's what primarily we're going to be doing today. We're going to talk about automating some tasks with Python, debugging Python scripts, building. This is where we'll spend a fair amount of our time, is building some cybersecurity and hacking applications with Python. We'll look at Scapy. Okay, Scapy is a module that is really useful to us in a number of applications in cybersecurity. If you're familiar with Wireshark, if you're familiar with Snort, or any of these tools that go ahead and sniff packets off the wire, essentially what they're doing is they're using a library to be able to put the packets into the PCAP format. That's what Scapy does for us in Python. All right, we can go ahead and use Scapy to be able to sniff packets off the wire, put them in a PCAP format, and then once we're in a PCAP format, then we can do all kinds of manipulation on them. All right, and then we're going to build a Wi-Fi scanner last, and if we have more time, we'll do more things than we have here. All right, everything here will be done Kali Linux, okay? You begin your training in Python by using the Python interactive shell. Open the shell by entering Python 3 in the terminal. So basically, the Python shell is just an interactive shell that allows us to learn and test our syntax in Python. So rather than writing a long script, in, say, PyCharm or even in a simple text editor, we're going to just write some simple statements in the interactive shell just to see how Python works. By the way, we'll be using primarily any text editor to write our simple scripts. As we get into more advanced scripts, we'll use PyCharm. Okay, PyCharm is a Java app that's probably the best IDE, interactive development environment, for Python. Also note that we're using Python 3, not Python 2. So almost everybody has moved to Python 3. There's some subtle differences between the two, not dramatic differences. Okay, if you have a script that's written in Python 2 and try to run it in Python 3, it'll throw a few errors, and you can usually resolve those pretty easily. All right, let's go and open up. I'm going to be using 2020. Let's go here. You can use whatever one you want. Actually, 2019 is my favorite because you don't have to use sudo. Let's go ahead and let's go. First of all, we're going to go sudo, and then just to point out that Python, if you just put in Python, right, what you end up with is Python 2. You can see Python 2.718, right? And let's see, Control D to get out. There we go. All right, so what we want to do is we're going to go sudo Python 3. All right, you see here it comes up. So you can see that we have both Pythons in Kali. And you're probably going to find that in, yeah, Steve says 2022-1 is out now. Yep, they're always coming out with new ones. And I will say it one more time. And that is, I generally lag behind the latest and greatest for a number of reasons. And I think I've stated those clearly before, in that if something's working for me and I have all my tools, okay, already built into 2020 or 2019, and if there's no compelling reason to move to the latest and greatest, why would I do that? Right? Why would I be the beta tester for a new operating system, right? And have to run into all the problems that have been unresolved. All right. So I'm usually a few years behind before I'll accept a new anything, no matter what it is, whether it be Microsoft Windows or whether it be I'm still running Windows 10. So, and a number of other old things. If they work, why change? Okay, if they work, why change? Especially if you're in a penetration testing environment, right? Penetration testing environment. You're going into somebody else's environment, right? And they're paying you good money, okay, to get a job done, oftentimes by the hour. Are you going to be running a brand new operating system that has unknown problems with it? Hopefully you're going to be using one that you're familiar with and you've used a while. All right. So, anyways, that's my little spiel on using the latest and greatest. This is 2020. I actually really like 2019 probably best right now. What we can do here, once we're in the interactive shell, is first of all, what we want to do is to begin to create some expressions and see how what they call the idle, okay, actually works. So we can go ahead and put in expressions like 2 plus 2 and hit enter, right? And there's a number of different, just like any programming language. Okay, let me go back here and just kind of show you that there's a number of math operators in Python. There's addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. All right. Of course, there's a number of others. There's the exponent. There's modulus. All right. There's that we can also use. Let's try out using all of those just to make sure we know how things work. All right. So let's try using, say 2 plus 3. Hit enter, we get 5, right? We can, just like in any programming language, we can go ahead and use the parentheses to affect the order of operations. Whoa, 2 plus 3. Okay, order of operations, so it'll do times, say, 6, right? And if we had put the parentheses, ordered them differently, we would get a different result, right? So this says do 2 plus 3 first, all right? And you get 2 plus 3, you get 5, multiplied by 6. This says go ahead and do 3 times 6, okay? Get 18, and then add 2 to it, all right? So for most of you, this is going to be, very familiar territory. We can also do multiplication. All right, it's nice to have something that can do those numbers that quickly. We can also do division, right? We can do the, say, the modulus. Right, so modulus is the remainder. So this is 23 divided by 7 with a leftover or remainder of 2. Right, that's what the modulus is. Spacing doesn't make any difference. Right, so I can put all these spaces in, and it's still going to, whoa, what did I do wrong there? Just trying to, 2 plus, I might have hit the tab key there. That's by mistake. Okay. And then let's try 2. There we go. Yeah, I must have hit the tab key there by mistake. Indentation or unexpected indent. One of the things that we'll point out later on in class as we get into writing our scripts is indentation is really important in Python. Okay, indentation is the way that we set off a block of code. Right? So we set off a block of code by indenting it. So indentations are really important. In some languages, it doesn't make any difference, but in Python, it makes a huge difference. And the code will read very differently based upon indentation. All right, let's do a couple more here. Let's say 5 minus 1 times, let's see, 7 plus 1 divided by 3 minus 1. All right, so let's read what this says here. So order of operation, right? It's going to be 5 minus 1. It's going to be 4. Here we're going to have 8 divided by 2. And the answer is 16. All right, good. So you can go ahead and play around a little bit with the what they call the idle. So Python calls the idle of and try out various expressions to see what it is able to evaluate to. There's also, like other programming languages, is something that's you're going to find no matter what programming language it is. There's different types of variables. Okay, and for instance, we can work with integers, we can work with floating point, and we can work with string data types. It's just a few different types